Hello everyone. This morning some of our colleagues gave a nice corporate presentation about Nedap. However, sometimes corporate presentations are a bit hard to grasp. So today we are here to share our story, and this should give you a nice idea on what working could be like at a company like Nedap. But first, let me start with an introduction. My name is Klein Koerkamp, and next to me is Steyn. And about 10 years ago, I quit high school and started working at a body shop to fix and spray cars and motorcycles. And some would say not the smartest choice, but I had a lot of fun and learned a lot. However, after a couple of years, I found out this was not fulfilling enough for me anymore. So I went back to high school and eventually finished my Master's of Business Administration at the University of Twente. And then I set out to start up my grown-up working life. And I was looking for a job where I could explore my interest and sharpen my skills. And then I found Nedap, and there I found what makes me tick. It is within new business and entrepreneurship. And I'm a product manager in the team of Nedap Luna. And now I would like to give the word to my colleague Steyn.
Thanks, Rick. I'm Steyn. I'm also part of the Luna team. And when I look back at my time as a student, I look back at a time with lots of freedom. Even though in the end I obviously had to get a good grade, it was very nice to be able to freely work on projects and have lots of influence on the final product. I always tried to get the most out of each assignment, and when I graduated, I wanted my job to be the same. That's when I thought of Nedap. I'd been there before on a school trip, and back then I could already really identify with the culture. So I sent in an open application, and I was invited to talk to the Luna team. I was immediately asked how I would contribute and solve certain issues. And this sense of responsibility that I immediately got is what made me choose Nedap over 3 years ago.
So today we're here to tell our story, which we experienced in the Luna team. And we are not here to tell you how to do things, just to share our experience, which we experienced at Nedap Healthcare. And Nedap Healthcare is a business unit of Nedap. And we mainly make software for care employees within the elderly care, disabled care, and mental health care.
In November 2016, Nedap wanted to make hardware products again with the healthcare department. They were experimenting with Internet of Things technologies, such as LoRa and Narrowband IoT. These are networks which can be used by devices that consume little energy, but are still connected to the internet. Applying this technology in a useful case for the healthcare market became a graduation project, which was taken on by Hio, a graduation student in industrial design at the University of Twente. Applying some technology in a useful way is a very broad and open assignment. It can feel like a blank canvas with no real sense of direction. However, it is an opportunity to take risk and to don't play safe. You're not involved with a company's daily issues, and Nedap gives you freedom to play and discover, and sometimes even come up with things that they didn't even think about. So where to start? As someone with a technical background like me, it might be easy to think about the technical side. What can you do with the technology that is provided? However, we decided to focus on the human side. We didn't want to create just another showcase project that can be shown on some kind of event and then be thrown in the bin because it's not useful. We want to add value to people's life. As Nedap Healthcare is the market leader in elderly care, we have lots of knowledge about that, so we decided to delve deeper into that knowledge and look into the Dutch healthcare markets. As people live longer, more and more age-related diseases show up. For example, dementia. Dementia is a collection of over 50 cognitive disorders, of which Alzheimer's is the most commonly known. It affects memory, orientation of place and time, and other thinking-related issues. It is chronic or progressive in nature, and so far it's neither preventable or curable. It's a disease with a big impact. We want to design our product in a human-centered way and really know our audience. So we decided to involve them. We want to know how they live, what their problems, needs, and desires are. It's scary to ask questions to these people because dementia is a heavy subject. It can be personal and sometimes even emotional. However, in the end, it was very rewarding. We learned so much from these people and are still in touch with many of them. To tell you what we learned, I want to introduce Piet. Piet has dementia. He has difficulty with planning and getting an overview of his activities and appointments. This is very frustrating for Piet, as you might imagine. It makes him feel insecure and very dependent. Then we have Anna. Anna is Piet's eldest daughter, and she helps him plan and remember his activities and appointments. That takes Anna lots of time and effort, but she does it with love. However, she can't always be there for Piet. She has her own job and family, which she also needs to focus on. Structure is very important for Piet's self-reliance. With better structure, Piet gets guidance and peace of mind.
Thank you, Steyn. So Steyn told you a bit more about dementia, and I would like to tell you a bit more about the current solutions that these people use. We visited people with dementia, and we also talked to dementia experts, such as case managers dementia and occupational therapists. And we found out that people are currently using simple solutions, as you can see here, like Post-its, a paper diary, a calendar clock, or a whiteboard. And when we look a little bit closer at one of these solutions, at the whiteboard, you can see that a whiteboard states what day it is, what the date is, and what kind of appointments or activities are relevant this day. However, they're not always that useful, because we once visited a lady with dementia on a Saturday, and as you can see here, it states it's Wednesday. So the daughters or the formal caregiver hasn't visited the lady and updated the whiteboard. And this immediately shows the cons of these kind of solutions, because they require maintenance, they do not show what is relevant or give you active reminders or cues. So there's a need for something smarter. But if we look at smarter solutions, such as apps, tablets, or care robots, we see that they have a lot of functionality, but this also means that they have a lot of bells and whistles. So in theory, they can do a lot, but Piet and sometimes the caregiver cannot work with them.
The solution, therefore, must be simple and smart. Simple, so that someone like Piet can use it, and smart, so it works for informal caregivers like Anna and the professional care. That's why we came up with Luna. Luna is a simple but smart calendar. It supports users with their daily structure. And to introduce it, I'd like to show a simple or a short animation.
Dit is Piet, samen met Anna, zijn dochter. Piet hoorde 1 jaar terug dat hij dementie heeft. Wij zagen zijn grip op de dag afnemen. Daarom hebben wij als verpleging besloten de Nedap Luna neer te zetten. En dat bevalt eigenlijk heel goed. Hij krijgt weer structuur in zijn dag. Hij weet nu, door Luna, dat wij langskomen. Dus we hebben niet meer voor een dichte deur gestaan. Hij maakt zelf weer ontbijt, wordt herinnerd aan zijn medicijnen en komt weer zelf bij afspraken. Wij zijn als verpleging gewoon veel minder nodig en we merken dat hij die vrijheid heel fijn vindt. En zijn dochter ook, want via Karen kan zij ook bij de planning. Piet heeft gewoon zijn dag weer teruggekregen door Luna.
Oh, wat fijn, pap. Je hebt de koffie al klaar.
We tested a lot with our users. By using fast, iterative design cycles, we were able to quickly gather feedback and improve the design. We want to make Luna as simple as possible. Users only need to look at it. We were able to make it even more simple by removing unnecessary elements like a clock or weather forecast, which only distract and don't contribute to the primary goal. We learned to avoid words like later or next to make it as clear as possible when events happen. We also use icons to clarify activities, and users like that. However, icons should be clear. Our first design could be confusing. For example, is this a smelly sock? No, it's an inhaler. By adding context, icons become more clear. We also learned that it's very important to avoid stigma. Acceptance for people with dementia is a very big issue. People try to hide it, deny it, get angry about it, and even sad. That's why we chose an elegant name like Luna and not something like dementia calendar. It also doesn't look like a care product. Anyone could have this in their home. I have one. It helps me remind me to eat fruit every day and take a walk. If it already helps me, imagine the impact for someone with dementia. So after this design cycle, we made some prototypes. And we tested it for a couple of weeks with some users. And in the end, they were so happy with it, they didn't even want to return it. So this gave us the confidence to make Luna into a real product. And this immediately showed the trust and responsibility Nedap gives us as a team. We're a very small team, and we were able to design and develop the hardware, collaborate with an Internet of Things service provider to make their network suitable for large-scale use. And we set up a production process with Nedap's production facility and aided with building the first devices. It's very nice to be able to work in such a multidisciplinary environment. Even though I'm originally a software developer, I was able to contribute in so many different areas. And as a software developer, it showed me that software is not the goal, but the means to get there. I love the fact that the things we do has a real impact on people.
Thank you, Steyn. So the hardware team finished the first real-life working version of Luna. And this was also the moment when I entered the team, because a lot of business-related questions came up, which I was really interested in. And we also immediately made a decision that we wanted to pilot Luna on a larger scale, with 100 users with dementia who are in care at our customers, the care organizations. And we immediately tested the commitment of these care organizations by letting them pay for the pilot. And this went well. Then we got our first customer, and the whole Luna team jumped into a car and set off to the first customer with the Lunas to present our product, when it was still allowed, of course. And we presented our product to quite a small audience, but it was still very exciting because, yeah, this product was our baby, and they are going to use it. Luckily, it went well. They were enthusiastic about the product, but we also learned that our story was not perfect at the start. We had to improve it over time. And after a couple of months of usage, we went back to this customer to retrieve the feedback. And then we also learned it is really important to listen. Do not go and start ranting about the product. Just ask a lot of questions and gather the feedback. We only designed the product, and we do not use the product. And after this, collecting this feedback and incorporating it within the product, we finished it, but more importantly, the users and the care organizations were very happy with the product. So we decided to market the product. And all of a sudden, we were a real business, which means we needed to take care of finance, logistics, and production, which was quite a challenge because we are a young team, as you can see here. Except for Jan Hendrik at the top, he is the founder of Nedap Healthcare, and he advises us. But besides Jan Hendrik, the oldest one is 30 right now. So we were not that experienced, and we needed to take care of processes we didn't know. So we started to ask, and first asked our colleagues. And then we immediately recognized that there is a lot of knowledge within Nedap for finance, logistics, and production. And currently, we have recurring meetings with these kinds of specialities which are not in our wheelhouse. And furthermore, we also retrieved knowledge externally by calling industry experts and even competitors. We just didn't hesitate too much because we were lacking the knowledge. And eventually, with all this internal, external, and our own knowledge combined, we constructed the business plan. And as part of the business plan, of course, we produced the Luna. And here you can see the first stack of Lunas we sent to our customer. And after a couple of weeks of usage, a journalist of Zorgvisie came to this customer and interviewed one of the caregivers and the users, which gave a great objective view about the product, which was great to read. And these two moments are just such great milestones for the team, which we will remember for a very long time. However, in innovation like Nedap Luna, the next challenge is always coming up. For example, we are currently helping organizations to incorporate Luna within the care processes, which is quite a challenge, as you can imagine, within such weird corona times. Still, sales are going well. More and more customers are coming in and are happy that they can use a Luna, and first experiences are also good. So this is really great. And yeah, this was our story on how we explored entrepreneurship, about a new business, about designing a product. And we recognize that you might not know if a certain job description fits your interest or your skills. And we believe it's important to discover and explore your interests and skills within your first job as a student or as an alumni. And we found that Nedap gave us the room to find what makes us tick, and in the end, that is the most important thing, to find what you love to do and being able to do so in your daily work. This was our story. I would like to thank you for your attention, and I believe we have some time for some questions right now. I'm going to look at the screen if we have some questions.
Those are very small letters.
It's a bit small right now, so I'm stepping a bit closer to the screen. How long did it take to develop Nedap Luna? Well, as you can see, or maybe you have saw on the first slide, it was a graduation project from a colleague of ours which studied industrial design at the University of Twente, and he started in 2017. And currently we are in 2021, and in 2020, October, we were commercially live with the product. So the pilot was finished. Let me see. Within the Luna team, what types of educational background do your colleagues have?
I think most of us did a technical study, have a technical background,
yeah.
Except for Rick, who's a commercial. I myself have a bachelor's degree in software engineering. We have electrical engineers, 2 electrical engineers who work on the hardware and the embedded software.
Yeah.
Then we have 2 designers who studied industrial design, one of which is Hio, who initially took up the graduation project. And Jan Hendrik, I don't even know what his background is. He's
the godfather, the CEO.
He's the godfather, yeah.
So it's quite a diverse group of educational background. What skill do you feel you improved most after the Luna project? I believe that we, in the end, we learned to improve to test ideas with the users and to incorporate it within the product and to test the ideas which are really from added value. So in the beginning, you have a lot of ideas as a designer or as with a technical background, but you need to check it with your users if it's the right idea. And also, for me, with a business background, to involve not only the client, but also the care insurer, for example, and the business manager at the care organization, because all those people are relevant for the eventual success of your product. Can you see the next question, Steyn?
Yeah, the next question is about, does it make a sound when an activity begins? or should the user be alert when something happens?
Would you like to answer it, or should I?
Yeah, I'll answer it. It does not make a sound currently, and we saw in our pilot that that is actually enough. Most users can see the screen changing and know when something happens. We also learned that when it makes a sound, it might be invasive, and someone might think, "Hey, what's going on?"
Yeah.
We're still. This is something a very good question because it comes up quite a lot with our customers.
Yeah.
And we're thinking about maybe adding it as a possibility. It has the option, but currently it doesn't make a sound, and it works.
Yeah. Yeah, it's we believe in simplicity and not too much bells and whistle, as we stated within the presentation. So the caregivers often say it should make a bell or a whistle, but the user, we see that they often look at Luna, so the need is not that clear. Let me see. What's next after Luna? Is there still a lot to improve, or will you both move on another project? Good question. Let me answer it for myself. Currently, Luna is within a phase where there are a lot of business-related questions, and I also see this for the upcoming years because now we are in the elderly care market, but we are also in the mental health care and the disabled care, and we see that Luna also has potential in that market. So for myself, I will be with Luna for the upcoming time.
Yeah. I think for me that's pretty much the same. There's Luna right now is a very useful and functional product.
Yeah.
But there's still lots of things that could be done to make it easier for example, the care market to use it.
Yeah.
So we can invest lots of time in that. And after that, there's lots of things that could still be improved in the healthcare market. So I think we'll probably at some point start developing other things.
Yeah, I would like to add something to that because this is a really simple product, but still it's quite a challenge to implement it at care organizations because if you look at all the industries, the healthcare market is the industry which is most behind on implementing technology. So we're implementing this product, and if it's implemented successfully, we can build around it because it has a Bluetooth function, for example, so we could connect it to other devices, such as sensors, such as other automatic devices, to improve the home situations for the client. So there's still lots of room for improvement.
Yeah. I don't see any other questions. So,
no. All right. We have to wrap it up, I see. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Goodbye.